This week, you could say it's a multifaceted offering from our friends over at BMW, and it all starts with the exterior pizzazz. Hey, welcome to Station Road Warrior. I'm your host, Grant Roberson. Now, behind me is the first ever 2023 BMW XM. That's right, combining the best of the X Series with the M Series and throwing it into one. And also to boot is, well, some plug-in hybrid technology. With so much going on here on the first ever XM, where do we begin? And naturally, that is with the turn of the key, because arguably those quad pipes are going to light things up from an audible standpoint and remind everyone what that M Series truly delivers. That, of course, contrasts dramatically with the field mouse-like demeanor when this vehicle is in all EV mode, really tiptoeing through the neighborhood and not bothering anyone. That, of course, contrasts dramatically with the rather loud Art Deco inspired exterior, really seen at the four corners with that gold brass kind of look and those 23-inch rims, which couples nicely, of course, with adornment through the midline, wrapping the outer windows, also seen on the grille warfare and there at the back end. But lastly, it's kind of that red velvet approach when you climb inside this vehicle, really for the only exclusive invitees, because once you get inside, it's like you're in a club of your own with all the plushness, richness, and all the innovations. The BMW XM really takes the classic BMW X and injects a healthy dose of M DNA, really giving this vehicle an overall aggressive stance and look. Of course, where it all culminates is in the grille warfare. First, starting with this elongation of the hood, nice ripple effect, high haunches here on the side, all diving down into what you see here. First, oversized air intake kidney shaped grills wrapped in that kind of gold accent, as well as some LED lighting, huge glossed up horizontal grill slats, and coupling nicely with the multi-texture you see here. As for airflow, you could say this whole front end is about gobbling up, certainly up top, down low, and on that side. This side isn't operational, but is there for symmetric look. Lastly is the headlight assembly, that of course dressed up and aggressive as well. First with the daytime running lights and this very slender approach on the upper portion, and the menacing headlights in this horizontal darkened look just below. As for turn signal operation, that is in the upper lighting as well and adorned on the side mirrors. Now at the front, you're going to have 275 35s, at the back 315 30s, both wrapping 23-inch wheels. Also have the M Series brake calipers that you can dress up, and either the black, blue, or red to really set off this vehicle. By the numbers, this vehicle is by no means a slouch, specifically when it comes to the horsepower of the hood and its overall size, because when it comes to pomp and circumstance, you want a little bit extra legroom to really deliver that overall feel, and this vehicle certainly does that. Where it begins is in the overall length, around about 201 inches, wheelbase fairly stretched at 122. As for width, just shy of 79 inches wide and 68 inches tall. As for front and rear track, just a little bit wider here at the front, 68 inches, at the back 66.5. Another big number is ground clearance. Even though this vehicle isn't going to go off the beaten path, it doesn't hurt to have that extra commanding view. This vehicle giving you 8.7 inches. As for overall curb weight, this vehicle pushing about 6,000 pounds. The all-new BMW XM is fitted with a newly developed plug-in hybrid drivetrain. The M hybrid system in the BMW XM consists of a new 483 horsepower V8 engine with M twin power turbo technology and a 194 horsepower electric motor integrated into the 8-speed M Steptronic transmission. Together, they generate a maximum system output of 644 horsepower and 590 foot-pounds of torque. Power is channeled to the road via the M xDrive all-wheel drive system. The combination of an electric motor and 8-cylinder engine produces immense, instantaneously available power sustained through the rev range. The M hybrid system also enables purely electric driving with an anticipated range of 30 miles. Of course, what does that all mean about the grip at the four corners, the combustion engine with those electrical components? Well, it means good 0 to 60 numbers around about 4.1 seconds. It also means good top end speed, 155 miles an hour, or with the M driver package as equipped here, about $2,500. That's going to take top end speed to around about 168 miles per hour. One thing no one expects with quad pipes at the back is being able to quiet this vehicle down, but you can do it real easy, grabbing the luggage at the back, taking out the so-equipped power cord, going to the left haunch, plugging it in there, putting in the so-equipped charger, and in about 3-4 hours, you can have about 30 miles of range, keeping this vehicle nice and docile when you need it to be. Sweep around to the good old business end of things. Certainly that front end does its own business. Back here though, with its overall scale, really delivering great cargo to boot. Now, nothing official on paper as of yet, but I'd argue around about 30 to 40 cubic feet as you see it. Now, I mentioned that luggage earlier to hold that electric vehicle charger. What I also like is it comes with a tether that couples nicely with those floor hooks. That's going to keep this nice and planted when you're going through the S curves, arguably not in EV mode. Now, to lower this, of course, just simply press that button right there. Once it comes down, what you're going to notice is kind of a black dark atmosphere really in the rear taillight assembly, the glass, kind of a nice smoky overall atmosphere. Of course, that's contrasted with that adornment, that gold adornment we see around this vehicle. The quad pipes really setting off the tone both audibly and visibly at the outer side, but really a nice smoky aggressive rear end to fit nicely with the front. The big argument for the XM might be whether to be the driver or to be driven, as backseat drivers really have the best seat in the house. First, starting with individualized attention on the outer side, plush seating, almost pillow-like feel, and literally pillows there when you need them to add that extra comfort. But it may be just the fact that you can stretch out with arguably as much legroom numbers in the back, if not better, than the front. As for the interior, you're going to have dual tones, both in this blue and brown leather, and upscale appointments when it comes to the silver and Bowers and Wilkins sound system, adorned in kind of the silver plate accent over the speakers. Quad zone climate controls is going to be found here on the XM, both with dual zones up front, dual zones in the rear, both with individualized attention on the outer side, and fan speed, as well as various vent select. Down below, you will find connectivity in the form of 2 USBs, as well as traditional power outlet for a vehicle. On the back of the front seats, you will find this adorned area with a sliding cover that reveals a USB. At first glance, this doesn't make much sense, but there is actually a housing that couples with this, allowing for your electronic device to actually be held in place. That makes it a little bit easier when possibly you're watching a movie, interacting with the phone, and can go hands-free. For extra wow factor, look no further than the ceiling. Instead of glass, this is adorned in a fabric with emblazoned geometric shapes. It's also from front to back and surrounded in LED lighting that can be customized to your specific color. Now, if you're like me and looking for some familiarity here on the XM, well, climb into the pilot's position, look between the front occupants, and well, this is where it starts, both here and into the huge LCD display that both houses the gauge cluster and the infotainment system, and of course right down to the steering wheel. This spells BMW all over it. While the outside might be fresh and new, the inside is somewhat familiar. Where it starts is, of course, the LCD infotainment with the split screens, allows you to really swipe back and forth, find exactly what you're looking for. Everyone on the M series is always going to be looking for their setup. You certainly will find it here. Dial in your specific settings, and of course that couples nicely with the M1 and M2 setting there on the steering wheel. As you sweep down, you'll find some other form and function, both in the simple volume control knob here, as well as this nice sleek cover that reveals both a wireless charging area and dual cup holders and connectivity for USB. Between the front occupants as well is the gear shifter with the multi-point rev points, low, medium, and high, park button, of course, and other simplicity when it comes to other functions. One glance at the steering wheel reminds you this vehicle can feel like a jet fighter, specifically with everything that's going on here. First with the paddle shifters, downshift here on the left, upshift here on the right, also shortcuts for the custom settings M1 and M2. Left side is going to be cruise control, right side for various entertainment and other selections. So when it comes to grabbing attention, you could say this vehicle has covered it in all angles, whether it be the rumble from the quad pipes at the back, the Art Deco inspired exterior, the plushness there on the inside, or just the neck snapping fun. For the first ever XM, BMW really has delivered. Now, as always, I'd like to thank you for watching this edition of Road Warrior. Keep both hands on the wheel and eyes straight ahead.